Hello, and welcome to The Hill is Always Greener, a show where four friends have chill discussions about Sonic the Hedgehog to distract themselves from the inevitable passage of time and to craft their own media of madness.
Yes!
Which is what this episode is going to be about, which is going to take a little bit of an explanation. I think we kind of gave a broad overview in our preview, but we are going to attempt to write our own Sonic fan fiction, a time-honored Sonic fan tradition. I believe.
This episode is going to get very dangerous very fast.
But first, who are we?
Oh yeah, we have not done that part.
Hey, pulling the curtain back. It's been a couple of weeks, folks. A little rusty. But I am your intro host for today, Game Buddy.
I am the next person in the order, Valero.
I'm the rock in the corner, Rock the Jake.
And I'm the cyberlink that is just really hoping we get through this without going in a tragic direction.
No promises.
No promises.
You see, we had we've got a whole bunch of episode topic ideas, and at one point I was just like, you know, it was really cool when we did the fan games episode where someone was basically writing their own fanfic for one of them, and I was like, what if we wrote our own fanfic? And I didn't have any ideas beyond that, and we've shuffled our feet about this one to try and work out how it's going to work, but I think we've got something now.
Yes, I think we do as well. Now, I do just want to ask y'all on this show, can you give me a brief recounting of your personal history with, I guess you can do fanfic as a whole. I want to hear about your history with Sonic fan fiction specifically.
Well, I can make mine quick. I have actually never read or written a Sonic fanfic.
Interesting. Okay.
I have read. I've never written a fanfic. I have read a few different ones. This is going to sound so stupid, but my favorite one still to this day is a fanfic that crossed over Love Hina and Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Nice. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Whose love is Hina? Anyway.
Whose loves it Hinaway?
There we go. That's what I was trying to formulate from my brain. You can see I'm ready to write fanfiction. So my history of fanfiction, I haven't actually read a lot of Sonic ones because I don't know. I'm a big Sonic fan. I've read lots of Sonic fan content out there. There's something about committing myself to reading things that Sonic fans have actually taken the time to write, which kind of puts me in a state of nervousness. I'm like, I don't know if I can go down that deep. I'll watch someone's cartoon or read someone's comic, but I've heard what Sonic fanfics are like. I got into the internet reading fanfics. I was reading Final Fantasy VII fanfics because I was so desperate to see what at least what other people thought happened next. But Sonic the Hedgehog, I've always taken part in making my own little stories growing up. Mostly I was drawing them. Obviously, these days I actually ended up writing a whole fanfic myself, but about Sonic. But man, I don't know. The Sonic fanfics are almost like a thing in legend at this point. They're like a part of internet culture that even if you haven't read one, you know about them and what happens in them.
Yep.
It does feel like we have, and maybe that is just how connected the internet is, that I would say I don't seek out fan content that much anymore, especially fanfics, but I do some just stumble across different fan comics and like you said, cartoons and videos, and I really think about it oh yeah, I guess that is how that is all technically fan fiction. So yeah, I guess I do consume a lot of modern stuff as well. It's also how I found some of my favorite Sonic creators that are still around making different things.
Yeah, I guess it kind of fan fiction actually covers a broad range of things other than just written prose, I suppose. The kind of things you would actually read on a fanfiction.net or an archive of your own. But yeah, what we're actually, man, it's technically we're not writing a whole complete fanfic here. I think we're going to at least try and keep it kind of broad. But, well. Oh yeah, Luke, what's your history with it, by the way? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit of crossover.
Oh, we definitely have a little bit of crossover because I still remember the radio play you did for a certain fanfic. Still on my third generation iPod somewhere.
Oh man, I know I've got that tucked away. I will clarify in a moment. I'm going to give my own history.
Yeah, no, like the mid 2000s, it was a good way to pass the time between major Sonic releases, and I read my fair share of fanfics, some good ones, some bad ones, some bad ones, some bad ones, some bad ones. I mostly joke, but like, as for writing, I did a little bit of fanfic writing. I attempted to do a Sonic Cross Ace Attorney crossover that I made it like maybe 3 or 4 chapters into.
Oh man,
I promptly abandoned.
Yeah, I think I remember reading some of your drafts for that back in the day.
Yeah, like I think it was like Eggman gets murdered. Everybody thinks it's Sonic, but turns out it's actually Metal Sonic. But actually, Eggman is okay. And I think I was going to use like a character from Trauma Center to examine the corpse and explain how like Eggman seemed to be dead but was actually alive.
So Sonic Heroes.
Sonic Heroes meets the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of ascended fan stuff.
Yeah, and then the other one I did a couple chapters of, then promptly abandoned, was a fanfic where I took individual episodes of Sonic X and then rewrote them in a goofy, nonsensical way. And then a few years later...
Oh, man.
And keep in mind, that first draft was pre-Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series.
Yes, because I remember reading those on... I mean, we got to bring up sonicanime.net. Like,
Of
yes,
course.
weren't those posted there? Because it was a
they were posted there in, like, late 2004, early 2005.
Wow, yes. Oh man, I remember it because that was also, I think yours was a little bit more like, it was not as fourth wall-y as, because I remember a phenomenon with fanfics where people would do like literally call it like Mystery Science Theater 3000, but for fanfics, where a lot of them were, now that I look back on it, a little mean, because you would take like a bad fanfic and then just put it into a Google Doc before those were a thing, and like just make fun of it and interject, and sometimes do it in character. Like people would make up their own like personas to like, this is the one that makes fun of the bad fanfics, and God, that was just a whole thing.
Yeah, like I remember that first draft was a lot more kind of mean and fourth wall breaky. And like, I'm glad that it went through multiple revisions before we put it out as Sonic F Episode 1, but everything's got to start somewhere.
Yep. I think I feel like I'm the only one who has a traditional origin with fan fiction, where I was that kid, probably much too young to be completely unsupervised on the internet. But stumbling across like Sonic web rings and then fan fiction. Like, I'll tell you what put this on my mind, and just to consistently plug friend of the show Dave Bulmer's Sonic the Comic the Podcast, who, man, bravely dives into his own personal diaries from when he was a teen in the 90s, and has gotten to the point where he also has access to the internet. And mine kind of parallels that, except where his was stumbling into like RPs in IRC chats and whatnot. Mine was more like finding text documents of like Sonic fan fiction. And gosh, I remember about the only author's name I remember is Dan Drazen, who I won't get into the whole history because honestly, it's been literal decades since I've read it and don't remember a bunch, but was a dude who was around like in when Sat AM was popular, when Archie comics were popular, and just wrote a bunch of his own like concepts and stories. And I remember like reading those, and again, probably being very too young, and just ignored any like proper content warnings, like this is an R-rated fic. I'm like, yeah, well, my dad lets me watch Braveheart on TV, so I can handle it. And like, I thought it was like high art, like the most advanced thing I'd ever read. And now looking back, like definitely some rose tinted glasses, but hey, that got me like super passionate about like writing in general as a little kid. So I'd say it turned out okay. And then, yeah, once I got onto like online forums, like that is where I started doing, you would call it role playing, but the ones I remember I got involved to were more like collaborative storytelling, where like you had an author who put forth like, this is the scenario and we're all going to write chapters like with our characters included, and like having them being weaved together. It was almost like a mini like RPG campaign. And that was just, I remember that being so much fun. Like, I will never forget that. Hey, just wanted to drop in with some extra info here that the same person that ran those like RPG campaigns on the forums also wrote like some of my favorite Sonic fanfics that I would ever read. In fact, I liked them so much that back in the day I asked them permission and recorded like some of my first fully produced radio dramas. I remember the original version was just me doing all the narration and voices with some music, and eventually led me to redoing at least the first episode with me and some of the cast of Sonic F.
What is that? Silver asked, walking closer. Then he jumped too.
Calm down.
Said Blaze, trying to pretend that she hadn't been just as frightened.
It's just a fake.
But it looks like him! I mean, not that I've ever seen him in person, but the pictures in the history books and...
And if you had paid a little more attention in history class, you'd remember that Eggman once tried to produce an army of androids based on him. This must be one of them. You know, this is quite a find.
I guess so. But can we please head back now?
Not until we're done!
Silver cast one more sideways glance at the decapitated shadow android. In the orange light of Blaze's flame, it was all too easy to imagine that the wires sticking out of its neck were arteries and veins.
Anyway, all that to say that without this person's like creative contributions to my life, that like this show might not exist. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are out there, friend. Love ya. And then, I definitely went through my edgy phase where I started to think like, yeah, all that bad fanfic crap and, whatever. And just kind of fell away from it. But yeah, like I said, now I realize like, oh yeah, I've still been consuming like good fan stuff just in different forms. Yes, somehow I wish I could remember some of the like quote unquote funnier ones, but we have talked about like, me busting a gut whenever like, oh, it's Sonic and Tenchi Muyo. Like that is because I definitely read fanfics like that. Or gosh, when I remembered, that wasn't just a like, this character gets roboticized and starts murdering people like in explicit detail, was like ones where it would just be someone's OC and they would go over and like, and Sonic walked up to, Thundershoot, who was a 6.5 foot tall blue wolf with 4 tails, and he was making out with his girlfriend and like stuff. And even like, at 11 years old being like, well, I don't remember this in Sat AM. Why are they not sticking strictly to canon? So, yeah, I have like I look back fondly on my fanfic days, and hopefully we can do something. We can put together something with these prompts we have all pooled our resources to come up with something that's funny and exemplifies the spirit of the creative Sonic community that we've all had a hand in.
It is funny you mentioned collaborative storytelling, because that's kind of what we're doing here, in a way.
So a fun thing about this episode is that we are like doing a fanfic episode, but we're not just sitting here for who knows how long, just literally coming up with nothing out of thin air. We're kind of gamifying it. So some of the things we have is we have a general timer that we may or may not ignore. And we have a lot of, as we said, fanfic prompts of just generally like stuff that when you think fanfics, you think of generic stuff like the heroic sacrifice and a cool OC appears and stuff like that. And that's just 2 of our many fanfic prompts that we have on here. And we are going to be coming up with the story collaboratively together, but we also have what I'm calling 3 cards that each of us can use. And this should be a fun part of the gamifyness of it. One is change, which means that the storyteller has to use a random number generator that we're using to pick a different prompt to forcefully insert into their part of the story. And any one of the other storytellers can just all of a sudden, out of nowhere, just change like that. And that's the same with these other two cards. The next one is It's On You, which means that this storyteller, specifically, this one has to come up with something all on their own for the next 3 minutes relating to the story, and without any outside help, without any outside influence. So this is going to be kind of like, okay, spotlight's on you, what you got? And the final card that we have is Put This In. So this is where the person who prompts this one, they get to choose a fanfic prompt, and they force the storyteller to put in this prompt and make it work. I love these card ideas because we can either use these strategically to bolster the story, or we can more likely use these to mess with each other, and this is going to be a very fun episode.
Do we use it to improve the experience or make it worse? I'm glad you came up with this, Jake. This is Jake's little contribution to the whole thing, and I think it's very good because disaster might be abound here. But we've only got 3 chances each to do that, so use your cards wisely.
Or
Sorry.
all at once. No.
Just glancing at all the prompts we've got and rereading some of them. I'm so excited to get started.
I know, I've been reading some of these too, and like legitimately this week I said it earlier, but I've been looking forward to this episode.
I worry that I am going to, keep my card, be like, I'm going to save my cards for when they're just right, and then we're at the final boss, and I've still got all my items.
I know. Play them all at once and panic. And we are, like we said, we probably at the end of this episode will not end up with a full, a full-length story. But what we're going to try and do is end up with a coherent, at least, what do you call it? A coherent outline for one hey, who knows? We haven't made a decision yet. Maybe we will take that and flesh it out into something for the future. We are always looking for new and unique content ideas for this show. So
this is like an advanced brainstorming session for a potential bit of media. But if we don't finish it, that's fine. Because how many fanfics out there have you read and they've just ended? Like right as you're getting into it. So,
ooh, my heart.
This is like that, except I don't think anyone's going to be interested.
Slow burn fanfic, last updated 2013.
The slowest of burns.
5 degrees for 300 minutes.
And just to say, before we get started, you know what's great about the written word, about fanfic in general? Really hard to copyright strike that shit. Anyway, moving on.
Subtle.
So the way that we're going to start this is that we're going to go ahead and start using our random number generator twice. Once to pick which one of us is going to start things, and then once to pick the first prompt that's really going to be the foundation of this glorious spaghetti of story. Here we go. I'm going to hit it.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's 4.
Huzzah!
Of course it is.
Hey, you've actually done something like this before, right? You've actually done something for a convention, right?
I did. Shout outs to our friend Marin Miller, who does fanfic panels at cons where basically they and whoever else is up there will pull up 2 characters and a prompt all written out by, basically all pulled from a hat, and they have 20 minutes to write a coherent fanfic, and then the audience gets to do the same. And I've done it. It was a lot of fun, so I'm interested to see if I can do as well with this one as I did with that one.
Well, now's the time to find out.
Yep. That is number 3. Eggman wins. It's something that's never been done in Sonic the Hedgehog before.
Right off the bat.
I'm just going to start writing the first episode of Set AM. I'm just going to start writing Sonic Forces.
STC.
Can I re-roll? Because I feel like this one's been done to death. I feel like maybe Eggman wins would be better as a mid-thing twist that upsets the status quo.
You know what? I'm going to sacrifice my change card for you, Luke. So roll again.
Oh, bless you.
Yes.
49. Characters denigrate other video game franchises.
All right.
Great starting prompt for a story.
This is what I put in there because I definitely remember fanfics where there would just be a random line where it said like, and that Mario guy sucks or something like that. Even if it's not a crossover.
That was definitely a common thing. So let's see. I'm thinking we start out with somebody like playing a video game and getting, Twitch mad at it. Which character do we think would be, the most likely to be in this scenario?
We pulling from any history? Because I think we have, on at least the people on this show, have agreed.
Ken Pender's immediate family.
Oh no! See, I was gonna say Serge the Tenric gets banned from Twitch.
Oh, hey, I remember that.
But
It's funny because Ian Flynn actually, someone asked like what if Serge the Tenric was on Twitch, what games would she play? And he said, Ian answered, he thinks she would mostly grief people on Fortnite.
Yes. She wouldn't actually know anything about the game. Like, hey, Serge, what do you think about the new Battle Pass? What the hell are you talking about? And she's teabagging someone.
She doesn't know how to pick up a gun. She just uses the axe the entire time.
I do like the idea of it being Serge, though. Serge and Kit still in hiding. They're laying low until an opportunity presents itself. Serge is killing time with the new Marxio Brothers game.
Nice. Can't believe you have to use stickers now. They took all the cool story out.
Kit comes in, does the usual, what are you doing? I'm playing this game. It sounds you don't like it. No, I hate it. Then why are you still playing it? I have literally nothing else to do. It wouldn't be righteous gamer anger if it wasn't, mostly their fault, but they refuse to admit it.
How was I supposed to know how to do that? This is bad game design.
So we do not have a sucked into the video game trope, so I'm not going to invoke that.
Yeah, maybe that's a little too meta for a Sonic fanfic right off the bat.
I mean, we do have metafiction as a trope, but that's like that's going in a much like wider direction, I think. So how can we turn Serge's gamer rage into a plot?
Like her original motivation for anger was that she was angry that she was created to fight Sonic, and so she's going to burn the world. So, you know what? Maybe she just wants to burn the world again, but this time because video games are too hard and it's not fair.
I was going to say, does she go out and try and murder some game developers? Or is that too... Well, I don't know. We're trying to find the line on this podcast, huh? Let's start with that. She's going to try and murder the designer of this game.
Or maybe just she blows off steam over gamer rage by literally like burning anything she can like get her hands on.
Yeah, terrorizing a local town.
Yeah, there you go.
She has done that before in canon.
Serge terrorizes a local town because gamer rage.
Why are you doing this? We never did anything to you.
Tell that to my stuck A button.
The Cheeto dust, it never fades.
Oh, poor Kit. Just trying to use his liquid powers with some cleaner to try and keep the crusty game controllers functioning.
Oh my gosh. Serge is just like an angry gremlin who like plays video games, gets mad and eats too many Cheetos and drinks too much Mountain Dew.
Oh God. Totino's pizza rolls everywhere. Ground into the carpet.
I'd say she would drink another beverage, but I'm not sure that's available anymore.
Serge! It's a fully loaded citrus soda with carbos!
I get it. I think it is still available in very specific markets.
Okay.
Is Surge the one that's all the sugar, twice the caffeine? Nope, I was thinking of Jolt Cola. I know a couple years ago I found one in like a dollar store locally, and I was like, well, I gotta know. And the answer was bad, and now I can't stop shaking.
The last thing I think I'll add to what we have so far is, Surge starts terrorizing a town. That immediately prompts Sonic or one of the other heroes to spring into action and investigate what's going down. They see the smoke from a distance or whatever.
Yeah, we would say she's creating so much destruction that other people take notice of it, our heroes.
Let me pull the next one. So 1 to 3, 1.
Oh, that's a me. Jeremy.
1.
All right. So I've got my generator. We're still going 1 to 53. And what do we do if we come up against a double? Do we just try and...
If we have a double and it doesn't work, we re-roll it. If we have a double and they were like, no, wait, I can do this. I can win again.
Yeah, we'll leave it up to the choice of the person there.
Right.
Well, now I really wish I would have put pregnancy in there. Okay, I'm hitting.
Not too late.
I'm rolling the digital die, and I got number 1, which is Sonic cannot run for some reason. He's unable to.
So Sonic is running to save the day, but he can't run for some reason.
Okay, let me go with this. Okay, so Surge is terrorizing a town. We'll say we haven't exactly set this in a continuity, and I think we shouldn't. We should keep it fast and loose.
Yeah,
even if
It's a fanfic. We're fine. Surge and Kit are in it, so you'd think it's IDW, but no. This is
but
the world
also,
of fanfiction.
We just made reference to the Marxio brothers.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All bets are off.
This is like one of those like all continuities tag.
Yes. So we'll say that. Okay. Goodness. God, so many choices. Physical injury, experimental shoes from possibly Uncle Chuck or Tails. Oh, goodness.
One too many chili dogs.
Sonic Labyrinth.
Yeah, Sonic Labyrinth. All right. I got an idea. I'm going to run with it. All right. So
Unlike Sonic.
Yeah, I was about to say.
No, yeah, exactly. Shit. Okay. Give me a second.
I like this already. If it's making you react like that.
All right, you can start the timer. All right, so Surge is making... okay, good. Surge is making such a ruckus that someone has gotten word to, I'll just say Freedom Headquarters. Again, doesn't necessarily mean IDW, could be, any Freedom Fighters group. But they've gotten word they need Sonic's help. Surge is incredibly powerful, and Sonic is a match for her. So let's say Tails. Tails is in Freedom Headquarters and knows Sonic has been taking a quick power nap and runs into his room and fills him in on the situation. And Sonic groggily wakes up and starts processing all the information and knows that, man, that Surge, she's such a menace and I wish she would just knock it off. And then goes to put both his feet on the floor only to realize his one leg has fallen deathly asleep.
Yes.
He shrieks in pain, and of course this happens to everybody every once in a while. You get the little tinglies, but where when you're a little kid and like your arm falls asleep and it's like, oh, funny, but then you reach like a certain age and it just starts to hurt. Or like you wake up in the middle of the night and like your leg is dead. That is what Sonic is. It is totally dead and it's not going away. And, he asks Tails like, oh man, what the heck? This has never happened before. And Tails is like, well, I'm not a doctor, but I mean, is it possible you could have like pinched a nerve or something? He's like, I don't know, man. This really sucks. So
have you checked your blood pressure in a while, Sonic? You've been eating a lot of high calorie content, and I don't know, man.
Did you drink some water?
So Tails asks him like, when was the last time he got a checkup down at the the infirmary? And Sonic can't remember, of course, doesn't think about those kind of things. He's, wouldn't call him irresponsible, but he just doesn't have time for that. He brushes his teeth twice a day.
Not always with toothpaste, but he tries.
rubbing a coarse leaf on your canines is good enough, right? Get those teeth sweaters off of there.
Exactly.
Teeth sweater.
So Sonic, promises Tails that he'll go down to the infirmary as soon as he takes care of this current threat. But you know what? It's much harder than you would think to rev up your Sonic speedy legs when one is completely dead, dragging behind you. So just picture this image of Sonic racing out of Freedom Headquarters, but mostly like a really fast, skip. kind of just, flinging that sleeping leg along with him. It's definitely not his top speed, but he's making it. And I feel like the pins and needles haven't kicked in yet, but maybe we'll save that for a chapter cliffhanger as we add to this.
Sonic gets a Charlie horse at some point. It's all over.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yes. That's where we're headed.
Be confused with his friend Charlie Horse, who's also in Resistance.
Well, he's the doctor in the infirmary.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I think that's all I've got for my turn on this one.
We're kind of getting used to how we're doing this, and then I think we're really going to have some fun with the cards later.
And now Chris and Jake, y'all can just flip a coin.
Yeah, I'll flip the coin so that nobody who's among the choices has to
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Good point.
Got to keep things.
Gotta keep it impartial.
Jake.
Oh,
you rascal.
In that case,
I'll be Tails.
Oh, darn it. I was going to say Tails.
Oh, God. We've already talked multiple times how that's a joke in Archie comics multiple times. Like, oh, it's a coin with Tails the person on it.
Heads.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay, I got 21. What's 21?
21 is character uses a curse word.
Yes!
Oh, man, because,
All right, now go for 10 minutes on this.
I was going to say, you don't even need to think that hard on this one, because Surge is experiencing gamer rage, and Sonic is in immeasurable pain because of his sleeping leg. So,
right.
Now, this will definitely be a rating tone setter for the rest of this fanfic.
This is how they know that this one's serious. You might have been lured into a false sense of security by the silly aspect of the gamer rage and Sonic getting pins and needles in his leg, but you're not ready for the curse words. Now, so this is at so this is happening in some random town that we haven't really given a name to.
Yeah, we don't have to. I mean, you're free to make it. I mean,
oh yeah, I'm in control now. Okay, so in the peaceful town of Transylvania, where Surge is terrorizing the populace, who are very upset at the fact that she's doing this over video games. Actually, yeah, I can understand that. Now, we don't know what her actual purpose is here to who she's hoping to make an impression on, but she's so mad. She's so mad right now that she's just seconds away from saying something really bad. But then Sonic the Hedgehog limps slowly over the horizon, and she doesn't notice him. So she continues causing chaos. But no, Sonic is here. There he is. It's our boy. And he doesn't quite have the same luster that he normally would. Getting on a bit, it seems. Poor old Sonic. Who is that? Sorry, there's people. I was right on to something, and then people outside started making noise. And that's the people yelling as Surge causes chaos in the city.
Oh, no!
The peaceful town of Transylvania is about to be the setting for a superhero battle between Sonic, who is just like, hey, stop it. What you doing, though? Why are you doing that, though? And for some reason, Sonic does not have the usual energy. He obviously wants to foil this, but I feel like something's catching up to him in a way. I don't know what it is, but our boy Sonic, maybe it is that he's in his 30s now. Not officially, but, he certainly feels that way.
Spiritually.
Spiritually. And, Man. Thinking about this for a sec. It's like...
We're building up to that curse word, man.
But this is the thing. Like, you guys have, like, you were giving a concept to really work with, and I'm like... But I've just got to continue the story, and then maybe someone says something rude. I've got to actually be creative here. But yeah, Sonic is like, hey, stop that right now. And she's like, no, video games. He's like, what? No, Sonic, no, look, listen, you blue bastard. Oh, she said a naughty word. That's not actually just kidding. That's not actually the swear word, because these days it's actually pretty tame. But it's giving the people a hint that, oh, maybe this one's going to be a little bit naughty. And Sonic's like, seriously? I was playing that new Marxio game. I'm sorry. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, sorry.
What's that, man?
And everyone in Transylvania, who's obviously seen a lot of weird stuff. Actually, no, Transylvania is a normal place when you get down to it, if you ignore all the monsters. But they're just like, Sonic! Is it what? Sorry. Fucking hell. No. Listen, Surge, right? Alright, I'm gonna have to do a spin attack now at you. He doesn't actually... More or less, Sonic decides that, okay, this is it. We're gonna get into a fight now. And Sonic is about to do... And Sonic is, like, revving up. He's like, alright, let's see how this goes. Dodges some of her lightning or whatever it is she does. Dodges her attack, and he's just about to go do a spin dash. And then his back just goes crick. And he's like, ah! No, seriously? and Serge is like standing on the top of a steeple top, looking down at him. God, what am I thinking? No, so hang on. What's that Malcolm in the Middle quote? I'm just thinking.
Future's now, old man.
Sonic is just like, he's like, oh, blinking back. Well, you know, he's trying to cut down on the swearing now. He realizes there are children around who are having their ears covered.
My diddly dang back.
Charmy B is there. And Serge just looks down at him. Looks down at this, what looks like a really frail Sonic, and she realizes, wow, he's been at this for a while. Hey, Sonic, the future is now, old man.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Sonic's like, shit.
Anyway,
someone else take over, please.
Pulled in the ripcord.
Yeah, like I fulfilled the assignment for this part. Hopefully, I got something.
That was a hard one so early on.
That was fun.
Yeah,
definite tone setter.
All right, so,
good.
So now it's my turn.
Yep.
39, which is
39.
Inexplicable crossover that doesn't complement either universe.
All right.
Okay.
You've got a universe of possibilities.
I sure do. Okay.
This could make or break us right here.
Oh no. No pressure. So things are looking grim. Sonic just doesn't have the same energy he has. His leg is still just mostly asleep. It's kind of like watching like a bundle of spaghetti noodles that are dry try to run with one limp, wet spaghetti noodle flapping in the wind. Serge is apparently at the top of a steeple in a very powerful stance. She raises her hand and electricity surges through her hand, through her gloves, through her body, and she gets ready to dive down to go ahead and do a final finishing blow. As she's diving down, stories and stories, she yells, I wasn't expecting to take you out today, but what a bonus, finally! And Sonic, with his limp leg, tries to struggle to get away, but he's barely getting away. At that moment, at that singular moment, a portal opens in between the two. And who should pop out of this portal? Why, it's the Elric brothers from Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh my god!
Now, did you say Full Metal, or was there a different first letter? I need to make sure. That's gonna change how I approach this, depending on your answer.
You know what? No. Okay, we're doing this. This is from Null Metal Alchemist.
Oh my god!
Oh no!
To clarify for everyone who doesn't know, that was the abridged series that I created quite a long time ago now. In fact, over a decade ago.
Well, okay. Before we go forward with this, Chris, are you okay if we do Null Metal?
Yeah, go on. Might as well.
Okay. All right, so the portal opens with, as far as placement here, we have Sonic on the ground. If we're looking at the scene, Sonic is to the left on the ground, staring up at Surge. From the portal steps out first Edward Elric, closest to Sonic. Next to him is his brother Alphonse, in still the metal suit of armor, and then coming down is Surge. Once they step out, Edward says, "What the piss? What are we doing here?" And Alphonse says, "I don't know, brother.
I don't like crossovers, brother."
Surge goes, "What?" and then crashes into Alphonse. At first, it looks like a very destructive scene. Alphonse's metal body just shatters. It scatters in a few different feet in the general direction. Sonic looks horrified at what looks to be complete and total dismemberment, whereas Surge at first is surprised and then grins devilishly, thinking that she just did something amazingly destructive in one fell swoop. She says, "See, I am the greatest. I'm so powerful." And then Alphonse says, "Brother, can you please put me back together?" Ed, of course, looks over nonchalantly saying, "Yeah, all right," and goes over and starts putting him back together. Sonic and Surge look absolutely dumbstruck, and they look at each other, and they look back at the scene unfolding as Edward quickly puts together Alphonse, and the two stand there together. Edward looks over at Sonic, at Surge, and then the two of them, and says, "All right, what the bloody hell's going on here?" And I'm going to hand it off now.
Well, what is going on? I don't have the slightest clue.
I just left a cow.
Why'd you do that?
Oh, yeah.
48 Christian rock music.
All right.
Oh, no.
This is a prompt put in almost specifically for Jake and Jeremy.
Which is why I'm pulling the "It's on you" card.
Good move. Who are you pulling it on?
Eeny, meeny, miny, Jake.
All right.
Okay. All right.
And I know this seems niche. This is going to resonate with tens of thousands of people. I just need to get them to listen to the podcast.
Okay. All right. So it's on me. I've got to continue this horrible mess that I've already started for the next 3 minutes. The way I'm going to do this is I'm just literally going to be name dropping a bunch of different Christian rock song titles, and maybe using lyrics from some of them if I think they work out. So here we go. The scene with two furries aghast at this one weird looking human who has metal parts and another just completely metal man. Edward looks to Alphonse and says, "What's wrong with these blokes? They look like a bunch of Jesus freaks, don't they?" And
That's definitely the impression I get from Sonic the Hedgehog in Search of Temric.
I've seen some fan art.
I mean, Edward Eldrick, regardless of appearance, not a fan of organized religion.
Regardless of voice actors.
so Alphonse just looks at him and says, "Mm-hmm." Sonic just takes a moment to step back and looks down and just says, "Oh, this week the trend. Goodness."
This week the trend.
Surge looks at the two of them and is angry that, first of all, Alphonse is not still in shambles, and that the two of them are interrupting this gamer rage-fueled fight to the death between Surge and Sonic, the ultimate revenge matchup. So Surge points angrily at the two of them and says, "You meddlers, what are you doing here? I'm about to fire off my internal cannon of electricity at you." Edward, sensing the hostility that's coming from Surge, he decides that, he's going to make the best of this moment. So he gets into a stance. He claps his hands, and out of the minerals and the iron and in the dirt below him, he makes his signature classic spear that he's going to fight with. And he says, "Hey, I don't know who you are, you green freak, but I dare you to move."
I dare you.
All the while, Alphonse is thinking to himself, just randomly, "Man, I still wish I had pieces of a real heart in me." Surge, both angrily and somehow happily smirks and says, "All right, Shorty, you're on." Edward immediately blows up and says to Surge, "Run." Edward lunges towards Surge with the spear, and the two engage in fighting. Alphonse decides to go over to Sonic and lifts him up. And Alphonse says, "Are you all right, my friend?" And Sonic says, "I feel like I've had a razor taken to my leg." Let me get one more in there. Alphonse nods and looks around and he says, "Goodness, it seems that we're a world away from where we once were." Okay, I think that's a little bit more than 3 minutes on my part.
All right, 13. Karaoke.
Oh, no.
On the topic of music. We have a quick cutaway to Robotropolis where Eggman and his...
Yeah, that's the sort of thing you can do.
Oh, yeah, you can't just do that.
Let's do quick cutaway to Eggman Land, where Eggman is whiling his cares away, doing karaoke with his quote-unquote kids. Sage is doing, quiet ballads. Orbot and Cubot are doing corny duets. Metal Sonic just, stands there silently with a microphone while the instrumental track is playing in the background.
I'm glad that you said... it took me a moment to realize you were saying corny duets, not horny duets.
Oh.
That's a whole different scene.
Metal Sonic only doing tequila or Wipeout, and then refuses to verbalize the lines.
Tequila.
But their karaoke is interrupted by some messenger. Let's say Bokun.
Sure.
Yeah, why not?
Coming in to, inform Eggman that Surge has surfaced in Transylvania and is currently fighting with Sonic, a human, and an unknown robot.
Is it one of ours?
I don't think so. We usually build them bulkier. Eggman hears this and he sees an opportunity to take out Sonic to, either recapture or eliminate Surge as a potential threat, and potentially gets, some sort of foreign robot under his control and see if he can reverse engineer it or integrate it into his forces somehow. He's like, "Follow me, kids. We're going on a day trip."
All right, I'm going to roll the dice again. 34. It's not that one. Shut up. Oh my God. The American Revolution.
Yes! I wrote this one.
Oh my God.
Do you want it out?
I might, yes.
Well, you gave me your change earlier. I'm returning the favor.
Right.
Yes, I have no idea.
Sorry, who added that one?
I did.
I feel like we are blending, setting prompts with something with mid-story something happens prompts, and we probably should have, put them in separate categories or something.
Nah.
Yeah, or something
That's
like
something
that.
for next time, folks.
Yes.
This is a learning process.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. No, I will have, but for look, not saying we can't come back around to the American Revolution, but
Wait till Bunny Rabbit returns.
Oh my gosh,
It
no.
inevitably gets brought into the story.
Well, yeah, not the Civil War.
No, not that one.
All right, I'm rolling again.
What you got?
Let's see, 26.
26. A drastic character change.
Okay.
We can work with this.
Especially with these two new characters.
Yes. Ooh, how literal do I want to take this? Okay. So taking the prompt of sudden character change, yes, we zip back to the peaceful town of Transylvania that has been disturbed by all these silly people fighting. Surge and Ed are clashing back and forth. She charges her fists with electricity, and Ed is thought ahead using his brilliant, silly mind and making sure the material was not conducive so he would get shocked, because he's a smart guy,
Yeah.
Al is just kind of hanging around with Sonic, making small talk. He kind of explains his whole thing, and poor Al, especially this version, has had to explain it so many times that you can really tell that he's like, all the joy has gone out of it. He's less embarrassed and more just frustrated that he has to tell another person about the whole thing, the dead mom, the equivalent exchange. But just as the clash between the Tenric and this strange overlander with metal limbs,
The Tenric and the Elric.
yes, seems to be reaching its climax. Ed suddenly falters, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do the accent. I can't get through it.
Yes, you can.
I did it.
Okay. Ed falters, and Serge goes past him, and he thinks, hey, what the fuck? He says, because, we can say fuck now. We've crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
But he looks down to his non-automail hand to find that he's growing some kind of fur. His hand appears to be growing to many more times its normal size to be more in proportion with his now round head and floppy ears and muzzle and adorable pointed teeth. My God, Edward Elric has transformed into a true doggy of the military.
Oh my gosh.
He turns back to yell something to his loyal brother, only to find that his metallic armor has also somehow transmogrified into a different design. Instead of the vague humanish figure, it now stands with two pointy and still metal fluffy ears, long whiskers, and an adorable button kitty nose.
Oh my gosh.
It's now...
Of course.
He is now Alphonse the cat. These two human intruders, having been exposed to the atmosphere of whatever version of Sonic's world this is, their physical bodies have been rewritten to better fit the environment and have transformed into Sonic OC furries. Definitely imagining Ed is just like a mutt dog, some kind of, maybe like a golden retriever mixed in there because of his blonde hair. And, Al is just like a giant, not like big, more like, probably more like muscly looking, but, like a big Maine Coon cat.
Ooh.
Say. Again, he's still a suit of metal armor. If you're picturing a big fluffy cat, like, his fluff is actually very spiky and you shouldn't hug him, which is tragic for Al. I feel like Al would love being a cat.
Oh, no, absolutely. Like, that is the animal you choose for Alphonse Elric.
And Ed looks over at Al and says, "Things are getting rough over here, isn't it?" And Al says, "I don't know, I'm feline fine."
Let's roll that magic number. Boo-ba-doo-boo-ba-doo. It's 11. What's 11?
Truth or dare?
Truth or dare. Okay. You see, what's happened here is Jake has given me something on a silver platter. He's given me literally characters that I have done lots of things with in the past. I essentially wrote my own fanfic AU with these characters.
Oh,
this all has been a stealth plan to get you to do no metal.
Should have frickin' known. I knew this would happen. All right, so
do you need to go get a metal ball before you start?
It'd be ridiculous. I was already prepared with that.
Oh, I missed this. I missed this so much.
So while they take Edward Elric and Alphonse Elric have transmogrified into Mobian form, I guess, if we're going to use that terminology. Why not? It's a fanfic.
Let's do it.
And they find themselves... at least Edward finds himself face-to-face with Serge the Tenric, because Sonic is still in a state of old. And Edward's like, whoa, hang on, stop the fight for a second. And Serge is like ready to punch him. Is like, he's turned into a dog, and she's just like, man, I fucking hate dogs. He's like, wait, truth or dare? And she's like, what? I'm gonna kick your ass. No, truth or dare? It's like, I'm not going to. Oh, so you're a coward, are you? All right, dare. He's like, right. Eat my feet! Whoosh, and he kicks her in the face. But then she bites down on his foot because, of course, she does. She is a gremlin child. And so Edward would be in great pain if it were not his automail leg. And yes. But then she electrocutes his leg because, metal and electricity. And it's really bad for all involved. And Alphonse is in the back like, oh, brother, you smell like burned dog.
Yes! Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, God, for Serge. You know that sensation when you bite tinfoil? Just that times 100.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but she would.
Yeah, no, she would.
Yes, she would.
Recreationally, she would. Recreationally.
How do you think I get these choppers so sharp?
Oh my god.
Oh, that's horrible. Hey, just whoever's next, hey, remember Kit's around here somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, Kit's in the scene somewhere. And I like to imagine that, like, while this fight still continues on, even though Ed is, like, fried and and Serge is probably not doing so great either, like, Kit is obviously going to be there to back up Serge no matter the situation, but on this one he's not sure where she's coming from. He's just you know what, he's just looking at it like, well, this just happens from time to time, like something really innocuous winds her up and she goes and terrorizes a city, and while he's technically there as backup right now, he's just like, she's fighting a dog with a metal arm. I don't know. Is she fighting an amputee? That feels really bad. So he just sort of like sidles up beside Alphonse. Is like, and he's like, oh god, are you a robot? Yeah, people make that mistake a lot. Sorry.
Before Chris's turn is over, I want to play one of my cards right now.
Oh no! Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Go on, man.
I'm going to use my put this in card, and I am choosing prompt number 24. Tragic backstory out of nowhere.
Well, we can do that times 2.
Yes.
And like, Kit's just like, So what's your deal? And Al's like, oh my god, okay, so a long time ago I had a mother, and then I didn't, and then we tried to have one again, and that was a terrible mistake, and now I'm like this. What about you? And Kit just kind of goes very quiet and just sort of like stares off into the distance, and Al's like, one of those, is it? And we see flashes of both of their backstories sort of like played up across the screen, and Alphonse is like, oh, I can see that now. Oh, that's a bit weird, actually. Oh, and then like some anime like flashback music plays, and it's all a very Naruto flashback. And
Oh, I hear that song.
Yeah, specifically the Naruto like sadness and sorrow one comes up.
wow, that's really messed up. Oh, my brother's fighting your friend. Is she your friend? And Kit's like, I don't know. At this point,
Officially, it remains to be seen.
and Alphonse is just like, all right, I need to do something about it. Oi! Shall we do something? And then suddenly, we hear a noise. And I'm going to let the next person decide what that noise is.
That's me.
All right.
All right. Prompt number 43, which is...
Oh, no! No!
Wait, let me catch up. 40... Did we leave this one in? Oh... Now,
I'm
I
sorry.
will say, there are multiple meanings to this word, if you really wanted to get technical. But since this is a
both of them.
So, why don't you tell the listening audience what one you got, Jake?
The prompt is Incongruous Intercourse, which is my stupid head-ass way of saying random sex scene.
Oh my gosh.
but decided on these 2 words specifically because there is interpretation to be had.
All the children, please leave the room
Yes,
right now.
please leave the room for about 2.5 minutes. Okay, here we go.
Hand check.
After taking a fresh steaming plate of boot to the face and then dishing out some electrical revenge to Ed, Surge is getting really sick and tired of all these interruptions and all this nonsense, just ridiculousness. And she, out of complete gamer rage, or something beyond gamer rage, gamer infuriation. She like her electricity sparks and sparks, like growing higher and higher. It's almost like a Dragon Ball Z style aura, but it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Alphonse looks on at it and says, "Oh no, that's not good, is it?" And Kit says, "Definitely not. We should probably get out of here." So Alphonse picks up Sonic. Kit starts running away. Ed tries to charge at her, but Alphonse quickly grabs Doggy Elric by the scruff of the neck and and runs away.
At which point he is unable to do anything because that's what happens.
That's the Saiyan monkey tail pull. And out of just absolute rage and infuriation, Surge lets out a gigantic electrical surge and blast of just raw power that destroys buildings within about a mile. As we see walls crumbling near the edge of the explosion, there's one building where a wall is slowly crumbling apart, and we hear 2 residents within the chaos of the situation. We'll just say they're not stopping. They are, in fact, perhaps this is their thing. Perhaps this is their fetish, and they their incongruous intercourse of the situation just grows more powerful until their own powerful Dragon Ball Z style aura of love and affection for each other grows and grows.
Really just
grows and grows until it explodes in a mile-wide radius that rebuilds the town. And Alphonse... and Alphonse, looking on in just sheer and utter dumbstruck wonder, says, "Whoa, brother, what are we doing?" And I'm going to hand this off now.
Okay. Let me.
Damn.
Moment to process that.
Yeah. I need a minute.
Well, has anything else made sense up to this point?
No.
Oh yeah, what was the noise they heard?
Oh yeah.
I assume the noise was just like the crackling as Surge is building up.
Yes. Good.
Sure.
And not the powerful in the distance.
Sorry. It's like Alphonse is just like, wait, hang on a second. Someone's shagging. Your backstory's really interesting to me, and I'm really worried about the battle. Hang on.
Can't concentrate.
There's some sex going on up there.
Let me give it a roll. 53. One of the main characters has to stop and do his taxes before continuing the story.
Now we've introduced a lot of characters that are off screen, so don't forget that.
This is true. We cut to Eggman and the others, on a slightly larger than normal Eggmobile, making their way towards the battle. And, everything seems to be going well until Eggman realizes that his the tank is empty and the Eggmobile is crashing down. It makes a rough landing, maybe halfway to Transylvania. And he's like, this is no problem. I'll just get one of my other bots to come by and, deliver a fresh can of fuel or a new hovercraft or something. But unfortunately, Eggman discovers from Orbod that his finances are just completely, out of whack. He has not been keeping track of his assets or anything. And as a result, between that and just repeated tax fraud for years and years and years, it is finally caught up to him. And basically all of his assets are currently frozen. And all he can do is get his robots to send him his tax forms instead of literally anything else helpful. And he's begrudgingly forced to start actually inventorying everything and, going through all of his, getting his W-2 in order and everything. But while he is doing this, Metal, being a robot who does not, pay taxes, is like, I still have a job to do. I will finish what you started, Master, and takes off. And Sage, being a child who has no idea about the horrors of adult life and having to deal with taxes, is like, okay, I'm going to follow my quote-unquote big brother with Orbot and Cubot tagging along on her shoulders as she, warps after him.
I like it. You see, we're goofy in this fanfic, but we're also teaching the importance of keeping up with your finances.
It's true.
I mean, if we really got into the details of Dr. Eggman's finances, it would be untenable. Like, how does he afford any of this?
Counterfeiting.
It's true.
I think you've answered that.
39. Okay, that's a double. I'm gonna roll again.
What?
That was inexplicable crossover that doesn't complement either universe.
Oh.
And do you want to roll again, or?
Yes, I feel like one is enough for now. I feel like we took that curveball and turned it into a home run.
We made a home run out of it.
Let's not tempt fate. Yes. All right, rolling once more. Number 4. Coffee shop alternate universe. I'm thinking. Okay, one is bubbling to my head. All right. Okay. Glad we got this one after the sex one. As the robot hedgehog, his digital sister and her 2 goofy brothers head off to the battlefield since they don't have to worry about, like you said, the horrors of taxes just yet. We cut back to a quieter part of Transylvania. And let's say this is about 5 minutes ago where we see, what the hell? We see Amy Rose is just starting. She's unlocking the door to the local independently owned coffee shop that she has taken a job in. She decided to kind of take a break away from the freedom fighters and the resistant movement to, just take a sabbatical. And instead of being one of the leaders of the freedom fighters, she just wanted to do something on a little smaller scale. So she she decided to take a position at this coffee shop in this town that none of her friends have ever been to and surely wouldn't stumble upon in some kind of crazy battle. So she opens the door and flips on the lights and starts preparing all the machinery. She starts going over the espresso machine. It's one of those really old ones that's super complicated and like kind of dangerous, and if you do it wrong it could explode and kill you. But Amy kind of likes that bit of danger. She's a tough girl. She likes that little bit of adrenaline, knowing that her work could kill her. And just as she's ready to flip the open sign, a horrendous charge of electricity shoots through the streets, shattering all the windows on the cafe and, setting off alarms. She hears in the distance people screaming, and almost on instinct, her Pico hammer materializes in her hand as she anticipates another attack. And before she can do anything, she bears witness to the aforementioned couple right next door in the apartments, and she's stunned into even further silence, and can't break her eyes away before another flash, seeming to originate from these people who are just, really going at it. Restores the storefront to its former glory. And she just kind of looks around, rubs her eyes, and says to herself, "You know what? That's none of my business," and goes about her day.
All right, time to roll my magic number. What's it going to be for my segment? I'm giving it, it's number 3. Eggman. Okay, Eggman wins. We're back to this one. You know what? This is a very vague concept if you think about it.
Yes. And we may have just introduced something that would fit it perfectly.
Yep.
Okay. So, we find ourselves back in the cutting away from Amy's little scene at her coffee shop. We see the rest of the town, which is remarkably pristine all of a sudden. And even though many of the characters have been pulled away by Al, he sort of looks back and is like, "Oh, okay then." Sorry, what? and Ed is like, "Aha, yes, makes perfect sense to me." No, it doesn't, does it? No, I just wanted to pretend like I knew what was going on. Anyway, yeah, really good attack there. Whatever your name is up there. This what's your name, Scourge? And she gets real pissed. And she's especially pissed that all the damage that she's done has been undone. So Surge is like, she's just like trying to wreck the town anew. But just as she's about to shoot her lightning down, dun, 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 dun. Oh look, it's Metal Sonic. He's here. Metal Sonic arrives onto the scene. He's got lots of electric going on. He knocks her down because, like, to be fair, like the idea was to try and take down Sonic mostly, but he's just like, yeah, well, she's there, and so he knocks her down. And then Sage shows up, and Sage looks down at Surge, and Sonic is like, "Sage, what are you doing here?" "Oh, right, you're actually a villain, aren't you? That's weird. I thought we were mates." And she's like, "No." And Sonic is like, "You know what? Okay, I think I'm starting to get it back. I think that, you know what? Actually, when whatever that was happened and it restored the town, I think I'm feeling it again." And so Sonic is starting to get his mojo back.
Because of somebody else's mojo.
Yes, that's how it works. And Sonic is like, "You know what? Enough of this nonsense, you know. Sonic has been down for a while, but Sonic, yeah, he's finally back and rejuvenated. As I look upon these new frontiers, I think I'm going to really take it to everyone." So Sonic is just like, "All right, who's up first?" Metal Sonic immediately dives at him. He's like, "Whoa, okay. All right, you again." Now, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, Valero, you haven't actually addressed the trope yet. Hang on. There's still time for it. Because Sonic actually gets the upper hand, like from two directions. He's got Surge coming at him. He's got Metal Sonic coming at him. He moves out of the way. Surge and Metal Sonic crash into each other. They start fighting, and Surge is like, "God, you're a machine." It reminds me of that console that I played the game on, and that was bad. And this, honestly, I just wanted to beat you up. So that happens. And Sonic doesn't attack Sage, sorry, have we ever actually established what Sage can do other than control Titans? Not a whole lot, I don't think.
But
so
it's a fanfic, so she can do whatever we want.
That's true.
She can be like a technomancer.
That's true, but for this moment, she's just like, "Man, you suck." And it's like, oh, and Sonic's like, "Oh, actually, that actually really hurt." You know, Sonic is like, as he watches those two in the corner beating each other up, and Ed is also like watching, is like, you know, at this point I don't even know what I was fighting about. And then Sonic like takes a moment to look at the scene and be like, "Actually, I'm not sure if they need me. Oh, they're causing trouble. All right, I'm going to get into it." And as Sonic is about to charge headlong into the fracas, he gets hit by a giant, an even bigger than usual wrecking ball, and it whacks him right into the side of a building, which collapses. Yes, Eggman is here. He's arrived upon the scene and has knocked Sonic for a loop. Now you're thinking, that's how Eggman wins. Not necessarily. See, Eggman finally arrives and he doesn't have any of those forms on him. And he's like, so you see. And they're like, "No, what are we supposed to see?" "Well, you see, what happened was I was momentarily waylaid by the tax office." But as it turns out, as I was halfway through this form that I can't even remember the name of, I just remembered that I'd accounted for this before. Accountancy, pretty good, huh? And what I did is I actually installed my own robot into the tax office that can take control of things so that I never have to pay taxes ever again. Yes, my new Taxman robot that I was going to remake the whole IRS system and make it better for me. I win! That taxes! And also Sonic is dead! Hooray! And that's how I end the scene.
Once again, the tax man makes everything better.
Yep. Oh my gosh. I guess it's my turn now. How do you follow that? All right, generating number 8. Other popular 90s franchise alternate universe. Sonic, like examples, Sonic meets Matrix, 90210, etc., etc.
Nope. Okay, I'm playing a card. I'm going to use it. Can I put this in for this where I want to, instead of that, I want you to do number 14, Jake.
I think put this in works here.
So instead of number 8, I want you to do number 14, Jake, which is
reference in early 2000s Toonami show.
No, this is fine, actually. Yeah. It's bringing us back to Tale of Two Sonics. Let's go.
An early 2000s Toonami show. I wonder if we have one of those in this story already.
Actually, that was Adult Swim.
Actually. So, as everybody is stunned and truly in awe at how Eggman was able to defeat the colossal system of taxation, Sonic uses this moment to remember his journeys in a little place called the Hidden Leaf Village, where he studied for a little while in the ancient art of ninjutsu, and remembers his good friend and possibly best friend, maybe even life partner, Naruto.
Sure.
And in this moment, Sonic says, okay, we've been messing around enough. And he takes both of his middle and index fingers together, makes a plus sign out of them, and says, Kagebunshin no Jutsu! And turns into just dozens, maybe even hundreds of Sonics all on this sprawling field. Al and Ed just do the stock anime "wah" face. Surge is once again dumbfounded. Eggman, his glasses slip down a little bit on his nose, and he just says, "Well, damn." and the clip from Sonic Adventure 1 where Sonic goes, "Ready!" sounds out, but it's a chorus of hundreds of Sonics saying that, and then immediately followed by "Go!" And Sonic just goes into... Sonic just immediately speeds around, pummeling Eggman, Metal Sonic, not Sage, because she's okay in this moment. She's a child, y'all.
In fact, with that many goes, it's going to be go, 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 gotta go fast.
No! We said the thing.
I'm killing myself.
And he's also pummeling down Surge, and of course, Sonic is the hero, so he's not beating them within an inch of his life, but he's, with this many Sonics on hand, he's definitely got the upper hand. And as things for the antagonists and some villains, I would say mostly villains actually, are looking down and out, Eggman's fleet of what are they called? his helpers.
The egg pawns?
Egg pawns, egg robos. Okay.
SWAT bots, combots.
They could be all of them, honestly.
Every single
one in this moment.
The Les Preston, Theodore Logan, Spock, the Rock Dog.
Yeah.
And in this moment, every single type of Robotnik fleet that Eggman has ever had control of, the SWAT bots, the egg robos, the egg pawns, they all come in, flying in, coming through the nearby forest. Some even tunneling underground. Hey, boss, I heard you needed help. That's right. and so the fleet immediately starts shooting, punching, kicking, smashing, slashing all of the Bunshin no Jutsu copies until there's eventually only 3 Sonics remaining. And at this point, I'm going to toss it over to Luke.
I realize I've been given such a gift in this moment.
I was hoping that'd be a good setup for you.
41. Breaking the fourth wall in a bad attempt at humor.
Oh my gosh.
Sonic F special.
I was going to say, this is my bread and butter. Before they can even, make another move against Eggman or Surge or literally anybody else involved in this, the three remaining Sonics just kind of look at each other and have this moment of, this has gone wildly off the rails. Like, didn't we start out like having an existential crisis over, finally feeling the effects of our age, and now this is happening?
And one of the Sonics says, "Oh yeah, this is happening."
And the other Sonic is like, "It keeps happening. That's a problem." And we did lose the plot somewhere. Like, look over there. They point, and there is a copy of the script that is on fire from Surge's previous destruction.
Hey, is that the script?
Rotor, what are you doing here?
Oh no, my rotor does kind of sound like Plinkett. Oh no,
A little bit. And one of the Sonics like, we should really just, I don't know, maybe we need to start reapproaching how we basically approach life. Like, obviously we're starting to feel the effects of our age. The world is getting out of control. I feel like we're being left behind. We should really, try to get into some sort of better habits and reapproaching how we deal with, and before you can even finish, one of the robots falls and crushes him.
I'm going to play a card right now. I'm going to do It's On You, and I want Chris to continue this exact part of the scene where even though one of them's been crushed, they're still wondering about reapproaching life.
Having this existential crisis.
So Chris, when you're ready, I'll hit the timer for 3 minutes.
Okay, I got 3 minutes to handle this.
Okay.
And I was like, look, seriously, one of us just died. And the other one's like, sorry, it's like, the other one's like, yeah, not bad. It's like, oh my god, Ryan German Sonic, that's who you are. He's like, ooh, tight. There are only 2 Sonics remaining now, as the other one went boom. Sorry. The other Sonic's like, right, okay, so that just proves my point. You see, at any moment it could be all over. And what does that mean? Like, I know we've made it this far throughout this franchise, and maybe I'm breaking the fourth wall a little bit, but, it's just like, when it comes down to it, am I just going to be running around the same loop over and over again? Am I just going to keep going back to Green Hill? Is that what it's going to be for me? Is that the future for Sonic the Hedgehog? Am I just going to be doing the same old song and dance? Am I going to be doing the same acts over and over again? And the other Sonic is like, well, I don't know about any of that, but I'm Sonic. I'm just a guy who's looking for adventures. Like, no, seriously, am I going to be doing that all the time? Oh, yeah, this is happening. You said that already. Okay, you know what? When I look at you, I see a mirror of myself and what I've been and what I continue to be. And when it really comes down to it, or when I really take the time to think about it, am I just a parody of myself? Is that all Sonic is now? Am I just this? Am I even a person anymore? Or am I just like an image that degrades in time like a photocopy? And the other Sonic is like, well, you know what? That's really interesting, and I haven't thought about that before. When you really get down to it, and then he gets crushed as well. And so then we only have one Sonic remaining, as the Lord intended. And he's like, my dad Eugene never told me what to do in these situations. What would he do right now? And he's like, wait, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to trade some blows inside that pile. That's right, it's time for some insider trading, just like my dad told me. Sonic rushes back into the fray, not thinking about any of his problems anymore because he doesn't have time for it. Gotta go fast.
3,
Gotta
2,
go faster. Thank you for joining me for my Sonic the Hedgehog monologue between 2 Sonics.
I like how that started with the prompt of 41 for break the fourth wall and a bad attempt at humor, but we also somehow snuck in 42, which was in a bad attempt at drama.
Potentially the final round here. 52. War is on the brink and can only be stopped if one character can deliver something, but a second character is stopping them. Wow, okay. That is
good timing, actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for that one, Marin.
Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, man. I might need some brainstorming for this one. Okay, so the shadow clones have been dealt with. It's now Sonic going...
Sorry, I thought there were Sonic clones.
Oh.
You got
I'm the coolest. I'm the coolest. Maria.
Let's see. Sonic
Damn.
So Sonic has entered the fray of the fight once again. Decided to do what he does best, which is launch himself headlong into trouble and damn the consequences. Meanwhile, we cut to just maybe half a mile away where Sonic's good buddy Tails and Knuckles the Echidna, after Tails informed Knuckles of the horrendous fight against this quiet town that nobody's ever visited before, but it's always been there, trust us. Tails developed a plan and enlisted Knuckles' help. As the guardian of the Angel Island and the Master in Chaos Emeralds, Tails convinced Knuckles to bring all the Chaos Emeralds to lend Sonic a hand. Right. Potentially harnessing his super form to wipe out these robots and, put Surge back in her place and definitely not kill her and reduce her to a bloody smear on the ground.
Fleetway.
But just before they get within shouting distance to let Sonic know they've arrived to help with the magical gems, Metal Sonic dashes headlong into our two-tailed and Echidna heroes, scattering the emeralds on the ground, and we'll say Sage and Orbot and Cubot zip down investigating this conflict. Knuckles calls over to Tails, says, I'll handle a cheap copy of Sonic. Say, you get those emeralds to him. And so Knuckles and Metal Sonic start engaging in a mid-air battle. We'll say Knuckles has got his cool OVA powers where he can just kind of fly. He doesn't have to
he does.
Doesn't have to worry about anyone. In fact, he's got the hat too, folks.
Yeah, he does.
Lookalike starts playing, breaking through the fourth wall. It's a reunion between these two as they start clashing, and oh man, it's so cool. Knuckles he's just doing some cool fight moves. Tails swoops down to the ground, start picking up the emeralds, only to find that Sage and Orbot and Cubot are all holding some, and they're not actually mad at Tails or kind of want to beat him up. They just hand him over. They're nice. They realize this has gone on far too long. I don't know. I don't want to do it.
This has stopped making sense to me, so I think you should just take care of this.
There you go.
I think it would be better for everyone's sanity at this point.
And Sage is just like, yeah.
I want to go back to watching Coco Melon.
No.
All right, time to roll my magic number. It is 2. Wait, what's 2?
Friend gets hurt.
Friend gets
dang! We're
it's finally working out for us.
So Tails is flying over to rejoin the scene. He's got all the Chaos Emeralds and whatever. I'm sure he's got some sort of sack. You know what? He's got Sonic's backpack from Sat AM that he has inherited.
Yay.
Because that's actually nowhere near as cool as Knuckles' OVA hat, but the Sat AM fans are like, oh, it's the backpack! One of the things. Can you imagine if that's what happens? They're like, in the new movie, Sonic's got a backpack, and like, oh, has he got a ring in there?
Didn't he have one in Sonic 2?
Maybe, actually. But it'd be even better if he had Tails in it, like in that one episode.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but yeah, Tails with the backpack full of emeralds is hoisting them over to the scene in Transylvania. I suppose they're all in Transylvania right now, but Sonic trading blows on the inside of the battle, taking out all of this massive attack of robots, this massive gang of robots that have gathered. And Eggman still, like admittedly, while he had to deal with a lot of Sonics, and that was quite upsetting, he also got to see a lot of Sonics die, so he's feeling pretty good, actually. Then he whacks Sonic again with the wrecking ball, which now has spikes on it, because he's seen a spike in a financial gain or something, and he ties that to taxes somehow. And Tails arrives onto the scene. He's like, and Tails is as usual, Sonic, and he's like, he gets the emeralds out. He's like, this is the only chance. Take the emeralds, and he goes to swing them. But then Surge, who people forgot about apparently, like comes back out of the like. I'm saying she's probably under rubble at this point because that's the only way she disappears from the scene. Smashes out with lightning bolts flaring everywhere, and Tails suddenly takes a spill as a boulder lands on his tail, and he can't get the emeralds to Sonic in time, and Sonic's like, oh no, Tails has been hurt, my friend is hurt. That's a really tragic trope to happen. And Sonic is just about to go after to help Tails, but he gets electrified and hit by the spiky wrecking ball at the same time. And it's bad, man. I almost lost all my rings there. That's for you, Sonic fans. But then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in what was the sleepy town of Transylvania, then the chaotic town of Transylvania, then the destroyed town of Transylvania, then the restored town of Transylvania, and now in damaged town of Transylvania again. I play my put this in card, and I... Hang on, which one is it? I play number 15, character from another SEGA franchise appears.
Yes.
Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, as Eggman goes to rear up once again with his wrecking ball, he is suddenly, his finger is knocked away from the joystick by a hurtling skull that knocks his hand away. And coming out of nowhere, it's Chuck D. Head from Decap Attack here to save the day. Yes. He puts down his bag of Slurper cheese that he was out shopping for downtown. And he's like, what's going on around here then? And also, because I decided, the Professor and Igor are also there, and the Professor is like, Chuck, what is all this chaos? What is going on? I don't understand. Did you get into the, I don't know, funny thing that happens at the castle again? And Igor's like, yeah, he does that all the time, doesn't he? He's always up to his shenanigans, that Chuck. He's like, not this time, all right. What's that? Oh no, it's another one of you, Professor. No, that is not... Ivor, is that you? I haven't seen you in years. And he's like, oh my God, it's him again. Oh yeah, how's it going, Frank? You've been up to you've been playing with corpses again. I do not play with the corpses. This is a very serious business, as you can see from the creation over here. Anyway, stop causing havoc unless you have a good reason for it. I'm just playing out the scene now. Anyway,
please do. This is great.
Sonic uses this opportunity to get back up and rush over to Tails, and he's like, Tails, what the fuck? Are you alright? Sorry, I swear now. And Tails is like, Sonic, there's a lot of people in this scene, right? Sonic's like, yeah. Emeralds then. He's like, emeralds, and Sonic takes the Chaos Emeralds, and I'm going to give that to someone else.
I guess that's me. 47, which is Heroic Snack-rifice.
Oh no!
Sorry. So 46 is Heroic Sacrifice, and followed that immediately. 47 Heroic Snack-rifice. Now, going to require like any context at all here.
Okay, I put both of those there. The only context is that's a line from Futurama where they're down in the sewer and the giant sewer creature has been terrorizing the sewer mutants. And they offer up Fry, Leela, and Bender as a snack-rifice to the monster to be eaten.
Yep.
And that's about it.
If the legend is true, our only hope is to offer him a snack-rifice.
I guess it's the same, except something eats someone.
Or eating is evolved somehow. I'm totally okay going with this.
Okay.
But
it's so fucking stupid. I'm sorry.
All right. So Sonic, without delay, just takes the Chaos Emeralds from Tails, all 7. They spin around him and start glowing. All the villains, Eggman, Surge, Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic's fighting Knuckles. Never mind. Cross him out. Eggman.
He wishes he was there.
Eggman and Surge, and I guess that's really the only villains, maybe a few Egg Robos here and there. They all see this, and they all try to dive to get to him. Edward Elric, who doesn't know what all this is about, has just... Al. Al, who doesn't know what's happening, tries to save Sonic by pushing him out of the way. Somehow the Chaos Emeralds stay floating in there, and Al is the one who is now going to be transformed into Super Al. So this once metal cat is now a glowing golden metal cat. And I gotta figure out a snack-rifice here.
Hold it! I'm using this moment to play my put this in card. Roll with this. Give us the, not even Super Al, give us a new super form.
A new super form. Okay. This way, actually, I can use what I was originally going to do anyway. Okay. Al has become Super Al in this moment. Glowing golden, Metal Kitty. But because Sonic was still using the Chaos Emeralds at the beginning, the impetus of the use of the Chaos Emeralds, some of his thoughts in that moment were embedded in the Chaos Emeralds. And so Al starts glowing, shining brilliantly, golden again. And he is encased in an orb of light. And a whole minute goes by where everybody is staring on. Edward Elric goes, "What's all this then?" and once the glowing finally goes away, we are the new super form is revealed to be a metallic golden chili dog. That's right, Alphonse Elric is Super Chili Dog Al.
This was all worth it.
And so Al says, "Hello everyone, where's the beef?" And this was stupid. And he and Al, with his new superhuman super chili dog strength, flies towards Robotnik and in one fell swoop does the like Dragon Ball Goku style thing where he just like crashes through the floating like egg robo, the egg, what do you call that, the floating seat.
The Eggmobile.
Yeah,
The
Eggmobile, the Eggomatic.
I'm so lost in the sauce right now. I'm forgetting terms.
Oh, my head hurts so bad.
And so Alphonse, as the Super Chili Dog Al, Kitty, crashes through the Eggmobile, sending Eggman falling down to the ground. Edward claps his hands together and creates 2 large dirt hands that quickly grasp Eggman and hold him in place so that he can't get away or use his hands for anything. Alphonse then looks at Surge and say, "I think it's time for you to be grounded." And then he quickly does the disappear and then reappear in front of Surge. The two have a wonderful fist fight, sparks flying everywhere, a little bit of chili dog sauce flying here and there, but it's golden chili dog sauce, so it looks spectacular in the light. Somehow Surge is just barely holding on and keeping things even, both trading blows across the face, across the body, across the legs. But sooner or later, Surge finally wears out, and Alphonse does some amazing fighting choreography. He delivers an uppercut punch, sending her into the air. He jets up, grabs her by both legs, spins around countless times, and then tosses her into the ground, causing an amazing explosion of dust and dirt and clouds. And once the wreckage settles, we see Surge breathing, still barely conscious, but unable to move at this point. But wait, we're not done. Metal Sonic has all of a sudden come out holding Knuckles by the leg. Knuckles is out cold. He throws Knuckles down to the ground, and his hat falls away. No! Don't worry, Tails is there. Don't worry, Tails is there, and he catches it. The hat is saved. The hat is saved. Metal Sonic dives in, saying, well, not saying much of anything, really. And and Alphonse does the cool thing where he just holds out a hand, stops Metal Sonic in his tracks, and then sends out a pulse of energy, and Metal Sonic falls into this heap of scrap onto the ground. And now, with all that happening, I'm going to send this to Luke to conclude the events.
Yes, actually, I'm going to play my final card. It's on you to pass it to Luke to wrap this whole thing up.
It was going to be Luke anyway, really.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna circumvent a final roll that could really throw a wrench into this flow we're going.
Yeah.
I was originally going to do like the whole like from the Sonic 2 movie where he makes chili dogs like fall from the air and then he would lose one, but then I just got lost.
See, I thought somehow you were going to say like, oh no, Al, sapped away some Emerald's power, but also turned into a chili dog. And Sonic's like, oh no, I can't transform. The power's gone. And then Al looks at him and says, you know what you have to do, Sonic. Oh, but Al, no, we've known each other for
3 minutes.
Okay, I rolled number 50. They're out of ice cream.
Well,
I can work with this.
I'm going to use my change card. All right. Instead of they've run out of ice cream, we're going to put in prompt number 29, romantic moment.
Okay, I think I can make this work. As everyone is surveying the carnage, and Al turns back into Al. Oh, well, easy come, easy go. Professor Frankenstein is like, oh, well, now I've learned not to use this portal machine I've been working on. Wait, that was you? Oh, yes. I've been trying to get into fictional universes. I wanted to enter the world of neighbors and rewrite it from the inside out. Not near enough corpses for his liking. Anyway, might as well send us all home. And he opens up 2 portals, one back to Decap Attack, one back to the No Metal universe. And it's like, oh, finally. Come on, Al, let's go. But I want to be a chili dog. No, let's go. And they get dragged off, as do the decap cast. Sage is kind of looking down at the battered forms of Metal and at Eggman's throat and Eggman's trapped state. It's like, Father, I think you should call this one. It's been one of those days. All right, come on, Sage. I'll let you pick the next song. Eggman kind of gets ripped free from the big hands and slowly starts trudging back towards where the thing crashed so that they could all go home. And Sonic has a moment of, it's probably better this way. Maybe getting old is not so bad. As long as it means I don't have to deal with this shit on a regular basis. Yeah, that's right. I said shit. I can swear now.
Which we've mentioned for like the 4th time.
Amy comes running out of the cafe like, Sonic, there you are. Hey, Amy. You would not believe the day I've had. Why don't you tell me about it over a cup of coffee on the house? And he gives her a smile. Tails and Knuckles have just finished like loading Surge up onto like some sort of cage transport to take her back to Freedom HQ. And as they're loading up, Sonic's like, oh, hang on a sec. And he reaches into his Hammer space pocket and pulls out a Lame Boy with Super Mario Land 2 and tosses it into the cage before walking off with Amy towards the cafe. And scene.
Oh, yeah, I just realized we never did anything with Kit.
Kit's still there.
Kit was, I think we established Kit was waiting to see how everything played out, to see if he would need to distance himself from Surge on social media.
Kit is stressed out, and all he asks is if he can ride in the cage with her.
Aw.
Okay. Like we were at the beginning, we were like, "Where is Kit?" And I wanted to say, like, "Oh, he had to close down the open stream and ensure chat that everything was going to be okay." Please don't clip any of this.
Yay!
We made it work. We did it, guys.
Wow,
We did it.
We wrote a fan fiction.
We sure did.
Sure did. I still have cards left over, but oh well. It's fine.
Save them
Use
for
them.
next time.
And based on our timer, with 7 minutes to spare.
Nice.
All right. Not counting the few breaks we took.
So I guess, do we want to just quickly do a summary of the whole story?
Let me see if I can basically summarize what we've written. Surge and Kit remain in hiding, and Surge is passing time by playing video games because that's literally all they can do, even though she's getting increasingly fed up that she keeps losing at Super Mario Brothers. And she decides that she's going to take out her gamer rage on the nearby peaceful town of Transylvania. Someone sees the smoke rising, contacts Freedom HQ, and Tails forwards the message onto Sonic, who is just waking up from a nap. As he goes to put his shoes on, he realizes that one of his legs has completely fallen asleep, and he is in immense pain as a result, but it's just not going away. When was the last time you had a checkup? What's a checkup? Sonic says he'll hit the infirmary once he takes care of Surge, but it's slow going getting there, and he's just kind of flinging his leg as he tries to run. He finally limps over the horizon to see Surge destroying Transylvania. He tries to get her to stop because he's not in any state to fight her, and is clearly, having lower energy than usual because he's starting to feel some signs of aging. And Surge is like, no, I have to destroy this because of gamer rage. And he's like, seriously? Oh, fuck off. And everybody's like, oh, Sonic's gonna swear. He's like, I'm too old for this shit. Sonic does his best to dodge Surge's attacks, and he's about to spin dash at her, but then his back, he hurts his back trying to do so, and he's really trying hard not to keep swearing because of all the children around. And Surge is looking down, is like, the future is now, old man, and he can't keep up with her, and I wasn't expecting to take you out today, but what a bonus! And before she can jump down and take Sonic out, a portal opens, and the Elric brothers from No Metal Alchemist emerge, much to their collective confusion, and Surge crashes into Alphonse's armor. Sonic's horrified, Surge is a little shocked at first, then smug at the destruction. Then Al's just like, brother, can you put me back together again? And Ed's like, yeah, sure. And reassembles Al, much to everybody else's, shock and horror. The brothers are still confused. They're confused by, Sonic and Surge are confused by them. They make a lot of references to Christian rock music. They sure do. Surge eventually starts attacking Ed, who, retaliates in kind. Al helps Sonic up, and they kind of make small talk. Meanwhile, Eggman is doing karaoke with his kids, in quotes. They're all having a good time. Bokun arrives to inform them about what's going on, and that the Surge is fighting with Sonic, a human, and an unknown robot, and Eggman's like, I see an opportunity here. Let's make a day trip of it. So they take off. Ed temporarily, confuses Surge by trying to play Truth or Dare before just kicking her in the face. Kit's not sure what to do. He and Al have a very fourth wall breaking moment of recounting their tragic backstories to each other. They have gets real introspective. Surge, uses her gamer rage to create a massive explosion that destroys a bunch of Transylvania, including
somewhere in there, Ed and Al turn into furries.
They start turning into furries because they've been in this universe for too long. Part of the destroyed area exposes two Transylvanian citizens who are having fun, and them finishing off creates such a wave of positive energy that it spontaneously restores the town and also reinvigorates Sonic. Don't ask. Amy is also watching this from the cafe that she works part-time at to, get away from it all. Eggman's hovercraft crashes partway through because Eggman didn't pay his taxes, so all of his assets are frozen. So while he's working on his tax forms, Metal, Sage, Orbot, and Cubot head forward on their own. Ed makes Surge angry by calling her Scourge. Metal Sonic and Sage arrive. Metal Sonic and Surge both die for Sonic but crash into each other, and they start fighting. Eggman arrives and knocks Sonic into a building with a wrecking ball because he had a plant in the IRS and he beat taxes with his Taxman robot. Sonic recalls his time spent in the village of the Hidden Leaves and how his dearest friend Naruto Uzumaki taught him the ancient art of ninjutsu. So he performs the advanced shadow clone technique and charges a light speed attack. And all of his attacks, hit the villains, but Eggman summons every robot and Legion he's ever created, including the SSSSS squad, and destroys all but 3 Sonics. During that moment, the 3 remaining Sonics look at each other, experiencing some self-awareness. I feel like we've lost the plot. Oh yeah, this is happening. Yeah, it keeps happening. We did lose the plot. There it is over there. It's burning. Maybe we need to reapproach life in a different way now, like form some better habits, and then a robot crushes them to death. They continue to be existential as one of them just died. The, regular Sonic is having a moment of clarity, seeing Ryan Drummond Sonic just spouting catchphrases over and over. I don't want to be you forever. Like, am I just going to do the same song and dance forever? Well, I don't know anything about that. I'm just a guy who loves it. And then he gets crushed as well. Maybe I should take my old dad Yuji's advice and go inside that mayhem and trade some blows with the baddies. So Sonic throws himself into the fray again. Half a mile away, Tails and Knuckles are on the way with the Chaos Emeralds to help Sonic end the fight. But Metal Sonic has detected this and gone to retrieve the emeralds, followed by Sage and her brothers. Knuckles and Metal get into it. Sage and the others get the emeralds, but they just kind of give them to Tails, realizing that we should really just finish this. Tails tries to deliver the emeralds, but Surge attacks and he gets his tail trapped under a boulder and gets hit by the electrified wrecking ball. Sonic's horrified, but before Eggman can finish them off, he's stopped when Chuck D. Head arrives through another portal, followed by Professor Frankenstein and Igor. The professor knows Eggman. Eggman's just like, I really don't want to get into this right now. And Sonic uses this opening to run to Tails, who gives him the emeralds. He begins transforming. Sonic's friends and all the others try to get clear, but Al gets enveloped in the chaos energies, and some of Sonic's thoughts mixed with the energy cause him to transform into Super Metal Man Cat Chili Dog Al. Sacrifices his human furry form to gain immeasurable power.
Snack-rifising.
He does some cool DVD. He does some cool DVDs.
Hey, DVDs were cool back then too.
Some cool DBZ DVD shit. Not the Dragon Boxes, unfortunately. And crashes through Eggman's vehicle. Ed grabs him and transmutes Dirt Hands to hold Eggman in place. Al throws some Goku moves at Surge, knocking her out, and he reduces Metal Sonic to scrap. Al reverts back into his cat form. The prof reveals that his portal machine was responsible for all this because he was trying to rewrite Neighbors. Everyone goes back to their universes. Sage asks Eggman to throw in the towel, and he begrudgingly agrees. Sonic says, maybe getting old is not that bad because I can swear now. Amy runs out of the cafe and, has a little cute moment with Sonic. And they head back, but not before Eggman throws a Lame Boy SP with Super Mario Brothers 2 into Surge's cage as Tails and Knuckles cart her back to Freedom HQ with Kit riding sadly on top. The end. Maybe.
Okay.
That is a coherent narrative.
Yes.
We really ran the gamut from Christian rock to Christian white.
Now these is a title.
That's what I was going to say. What do we call this? Tale of Two Sonics 2. No.
No Metal Hedgehog.
I mean, how do we summarize? I know you just summarized it, but how do we summarize this in just a few words?
The fanfic.net summary would be, when Surge tries to destroy a town to vent her gamer rage, Sonic attempts to stop her as he begins feeling his age before things start to escalate.
Either that or a completely unrelated song title.
What's another Christian rock title I can pull up?
Cannonball.
Yeah.
Yes!
No, it's Cannonball, but spelled with only one N.
Yep.
Wow. I like that, actually.
Okay.
Canonball.
Oh my goodness. I cannot believe the directions that went, but that was a lot of fun. We are going to draw the curtain on this episode. Hey, like we said, we are keeping this down. Maybe we will flesh this out into a full story coming to a free upload webpage near you someday.
It's got a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it's a narrative.
Yep.
It's a narrative.
But I have been, and continue to be, Game Buddy. You can find me at that name, sometimes with a 123 around the internet. On Twitter, you can find me at Great Job Jeremy. That's GR and the number 8.
And I have been Falero, the guy who was not expecting his old abridged series to be involved in this episode of the Sonic podcast. But
I was thinking about whether I wanted to work Camaraderie Supernatural in there. I chose against it.
It made me so happy to hear you with the metal ball. Like,
yes,
it was hilarious, but like,
too.
it also sparked some joy in my heart.
And I do it again.
You may have to, depending on how the next one goes.
Yeah, well, we'll have to work some reference magic in next time. But if you want to find me across the internet for the various things I've done, including that, you can find me at Falero, and that's FAULERRO.
Love that jingle. I have been Rock the Jake. You can find me on pretty much all the socials as at Rock the Jake, and you can find me on Twitch as Mr. Rock the Jake.
And you can find me on Twitter at Cyberlink420 and at my desk trying to figure out how to turn this into comprehensible prose.
Oh, and a special thanks, as always, to Amy Waters for the use of our theme song. It's from the album Gotta Go Slow, and you can check out more of her work on YouTube and Bandcamp. Oh, and always remember to subscribe, review, share the show.
Definitely share this one.
Please share this one.
Like, man, I'm looking forward to putting this one together. But yeah, that does really help us out. And next episode, well, good golly gosh, we're going to do some more world building. Hey, see what I did there? Oh, don't say that. That makes it worse. By talking about Sonic's foray into the Lego dimension.
Whoa!
The video game. Remember that? Remember Toys to Life? Remember when that was a thing? Just scant few years ago.
I remember better than most.
Yes.
Is that like the Amiibos?
Yes, but Sonic got his own like expansion in Lego Dimensions, and also he's getting a lot of like official Lego sets lately. So we're going to revisit that, talk about other Sonic Lego stuff, because that's a cool like fandom moment as well, and like that whole creator program, and that was cool. So yeah, that'll be fun. And gosh, I guess that will do it. Until then, I'm Game Buddy.
I'm Falero.
I'm Rock the Jake.
And I'm Cyberlink. Slam. I have to say that because I don't have a door.
This sure as hell has been The Hill is Always Greener. And we'll see you on the other side. Oh,
fanfiction.net.
AO3.
Oh. My head hurts from laughing.
Oh, man.
My everything hurts.